Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics on the Hindus YouTube channel. Now, this is a show where we go behind the scenes on stories that are hitting the headlines in domestic politics. This week, the Uttarakhand government operationalized a statewide Uniform Civil Code, which we will now continue to refer to as a UCC for the duration of this episode. And it became the first state in independent India to do so. Goa, the other state that has a UCC, has one that predates its merger with India from during the rule of the Portuguese there. So therefore, this is a very unique sort of time frame that we are at, where a state in the Indian Union has come out with a statewide Uniform Civil Code. Now, this episode of Talking Politics will look at the UCC in Uttarakhand, and more importantly, what is the importance of a state-level UCC, the issue being one of the three core issues of the BJP and RSS after the construction of a Ram temple in Ayodhya and the abrogation of Article 370 of the Constitution, according special status for the former state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, in a previous episode of Talking Politics, I had gone into great detail about what were the main features of the Uttarakhand UCC. For example, under the UCC, marriages will only take place between a man and a woman. So no one man and one woman. So that means two things. A, no gay marriage, of course. And two, no polygamy also allowed. Now, special attention has been paid to the rights of children and their protection, whether legitimate or illegitimate. They have full rights over the property of their parents. The age of marriage has been set at 21 years for boys and 18 for girls. This is, of course, common to the rest of the country and nationally applicable. In matters related to divorce, men and women will have the same rights for asking for divorce. This is different from the Muslim personal law, which says that men have the right to divorce, women do not. This will end triple talaq and practices like halala, iddat, etc. In the UCC, if a person is found committing halala, there is a provision for 3 years of imprisonment or a fine of rupees 1 lakh or both. Now, if one person in the married couple changes his or her religion without the consent of the other person, then the other person will have the full right to divorce that person and demand maintenance. The UCC bill has also made it mandatory to register marriage and divorce, failing which the couple concerned will be deprived of the benefits of all government facilities. In case of divorce or domestic dispute between a husband and wife, the custody of the child up to 5 years of age will remain with the mother. The bill also has stringent provisions for failure to register live-in relationships. If a couple does not register their live-in relationship with the district administration within a month, they can face a maximum punishment up to 3 months. Also, if live-in partners share any false information during registration, they will face imprisonment for up to 3 months and a fine not exceeding rupees 25,000 or both. The registrar also forwards live-in registration statements to the local police and informs the parents if either partner is under the age of 21. Partners can terminate the relationship by submitting a statement to the official and providing a copy to their partner. Termination of these relationships will also be reported to the police. Also, the children born out of live-in relationships will be considered the legitimate child of the couple under the UCC. So therefore, in this code, as I said before, equal rights and property have been given to sons and daughters. No distinction has been made between legitimate and illegitimate children, adopted children, children born through surrogacy, and children born through assisted reproductive technology. They're all considered the biological children of the couple. Now, after the death of a person, his wife and children are given equal rights to his property, and also the deceased's parents are also given equal rights in his property. Whereas in the old laws, only the mother had rights in the property of the deceased. Tribal communities have been exempt from the UCC. Now, several of these features, especially dealing with the registration of living relationships, have been criticized by those who feel that privacy laws being breached. that other than marriage, the state has no business coming into the relationship between a man and a woman or just two people in a consensual sexual relationship. And also criticized by Muslim groups who feel that some of the conditions are absolutely in contradiction to their customary laws. Now, all of this has been going on ever since the first draft of the UCC for Uttarakhand came out. That's all old hat. I just rehashed it so that we know where we are at with regard to this thing, or people who've come in late to the show. The importance of the Uttarakhand UCC is not just because it is the first Indian state to initiate it after independence, but that it reflects the route that the BJP's high command seems to have taken to this, its remaining core ideological issue after the construction of a Ram temple in Ayodhya and the reading down of Article 370 of the Constitution that gave special status to the former state of Jammu and Kashmir. While the two core issues of the temple construction and Article 370 were fought for on a national scale, the temple movement was India's biggest mass movement since independence, and Article 370 abrogation was steered through Parliament, and in the face of deep international pressure, the UCC has had what I term as a more retail journey. While two law commissions have considered the issue at a larger national level, and a parliamentary standing committee on law and justice too has submitted its report, wherein it recommended keeping tribal communities out of the ambit of the UCC in order to preserve their endangered customary law and culture, the government of India under a full BJP and later an NDA government did not move on this issue as it did on the other two important ideological issues. Now, there are two important reasons as far as I can see for this. First of all, the need to give exceptions in the UCC to tribal communities and or tax breaks to certain communities means that an overarching UCC, a blanket law that covers our huge, complex and complicated country is a task of gargantuan proportions, and nobody in the government may be ready to take this on. Secondly, the backlash of big overarching laws like the Citizenship Amendment Act and the 3 farm laws that saw sustained protests on the streets for months on end is not a route that the BJP wants to go on now. The government, particularly now having lost its single-party parliamentary majority, has no intention of staking its political capital to take a nationwide UCC across the finish line. It has therefore been the received wisdom in government circles for some time that a state-to-state UCC catering to the particularities of that state is a more politic move. Interestingly, there were 2 states which, apart from Uttarakhand, said that they were interested in a statewide UCC. One was Assam, the other was Gujarat. But in Assam, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said a few days ago that despite his government showing an interest in implementing a statewide UCC, he will await a nationwide one, which just goes to show that it is a very, very complicated issue. It's not given to easy resolution, and therefore all players are circling it in a cautionary manner. Uttarakhand's UCC is therefore very much in the manner of a trial balloon in order to determine whether the Sangh Parivar's final piece in a triumvirate of ideological issues can be carried across the finish line. I hope this episode illuminated the complex character of this issue, which I feel I will have to revisit again at some point of time in the future. For this week, however, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching.